Hey guys, welcome to Retro MX Reviews. Today we have a bike that I've been waiting to get my hands on for a very long time. This is the 1986 Honda CR125. This is a bike that I had when I was a kid, and right when I moved up to 125, this is the first 125 I had. And I just spent, if you watch the show, you know, last year I was on an 87 125 CR. So I'm looking forward to getting a chance to get out there on this one, kind of see if I can tell, you know, what changed between those 2 years and just kind of the different feel. So 86 was a huge year for Honda. It was the first year of the production rule, and you know, a lot of the other factories I think thought that you know, that was going to level the playing field. And then Honda comes out with an incredible line of production bikes. I mean, the 86 Hondas need no introduction. They come out with an incredible line of bikes. They had the best riders, Bailey, Johnson, O'Mara, and they just cleaned up that year. So to me, 86 is like this crazy focal point of motocross history almost. So enough of my soapbox on that, right? But we're out here at DNA. We've been doing a little vintage meetup event, and we're wrapping up the day. So Brian's gonna let me do some laps on this one, and I'll come back and we'll talk about it and see what we think. This 125 is a really nice, well-preserved one. He's put a lot of time and effort into just going over everything on this bike and making it great. This one has a Pro Circuit pipe. Everything just nice and clean, taken care of. The 86 was actually not that different from the 85 chassis-wise, but they tweaked the cylinder. I think it's a whole different cylinder, and they got a whole lot more power out of it. So the 85 was kind of tame, and then the 86 was just, it would rip. ProLink with an external reservoir, which was actually nice because it didn't overheat like the 87 did. And then the 125, they didn't use cartridge forks, so they still had the traditional forks. I'm interested to see how those are going to feel compared to the cartridges on my 500 that I've been riding all day. So we're going to do that and go out and do some laps. hot off the track, still out of breath. What did we think? The thing that jumps out at me first and foremost is how much confidence after just a couple turns, how much confidence I can go into a turn and know that that bike is just going to stick. The lightweight and the geometry, that bike just corners so good, and it's so fun because the more you go, the more it just wants you to push harder, and it's just very predictable, but it still turns good. That was something. The motor is good. What's interesting to me, I feel like it's a little snappier, maybe lower than the 87. Maybe it doesn't hit as hard, and these old 125s, they just don't rev out like the newer ones. That's how the newer ones are getting so much more power, is they're going 2,000 RPMs higher, and Honda figured that out by the 90s, but these were still banking on a lot of mid-range. But this mid-range on this one is cool because it's not, it's broad and it's tractable, and granted this has a pipe, so that's gonna change that a little probably from stock, but it has a nice feel because it feels like it doesn't run out of steam. So like mid-corner, you don't feel like you need to shift. It just has like this nice power that just kind of pulls you through, even though it's a 125, you know. So that was really good. Suspension-wise, I could definitely feel those soft forks on the downhills, like downhill braking bumps was where I felt it the most, and the whole back bike just gets really busy from that. So, but that's something, you know, these bikes had really soft forks, and he's still running the stock setup, so that's very fixable. I'd die to ride this bike with my 500 fork setup on it. It would be great. Other than that, you know, the older tank design, you think it puts you far back, but it doesn't. You don't notice that. You don't feel it. It's right there. The Hondas are really slim, nothing poking out, so it just ergonomically, it's really good, really natural. I think what else? You know, the shock, I didn't really notice anything good or bad. This track's not the most demanding track as far as suspension, so I wouldn't, but you know, that's why we wanted to have a vintage race here. Anyway, so, but overall, that bike was a lot of fun, and I think I'd be just as happy racing that as I was racing that 87 I had. I really do. Not having the rear disc isn't a big deal, and I feel like the motor is just maybe a little more usable, even though it might not be quite as punchy. But it's a really fun bike to ride, and I mean, it's common knowledge. That's why these bikes are just impossible to find, and so I was really happy to get a chance to go out and ride one today, especially after racing my 500 the same day. And 125 is a whole lot more fun to turn than that 500, I'll tell you that. So if you got any comments, questions, ideas, throw it in the comments down below. And 860125. Thanks for watching.